I know, Hawk said. That's exactly why I wanted to meet you. He reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope. He slid it across the table. Open it. Sienna's hands trembled as she picked it up. She opened the envelope. Inside was a check. Her eyes went wide. She read the number once, twice, 3 times, $20,000. Her vision blurred. She couldn't breathe. I can't accept this. Yes, you can, Hawk said firmly, and you will. Because you gave me your last $8 when you had a daughter to feed. You sacrificed everything for a stranger. That kind of kindness doesn't go unrewarded. Not in my world. Tears streamed down Sienna's face. She covered her mouth with her hand, trying to hold back the sobs. $20,000, rent, Maya's inhaler, food, everything they needed. Everything she'd been praying for. But there's more, Hawk continued. Cole told me about your situation. 2 jobs, walking to work, behind on rent. That ends today. He snapped his fingers. A man walked over and handed him a set of keys. Hawk placed them on the table in front of Sienna. There's a car outside. 2019 Honda Accord. 12,000 miles. It's yours. Paid in full. Title's in your name. Sienna couldn't speak. She couldn't move. She just stared at the keys. And one more thing, Hawk said. I own a construction company. We need someone in the office. Scheduling, payroll, administration. $45,000 a year. Health benefits. Paid vacation. Starts Monday if you want it. Sienna covered her face with her hands and sobbed. Her whole body shook. Linda had been right. They didn't forget kindness. Hawk reached across the table and gently took her hand. His grip was firm now, strong, alive. You saw a human being who needed help. Not a Hell's Angel, not a criminal, not a biker thug, just a man. He paused. That's rare. And in my world, loyalty and kindness are everything. The entire diner stood up. Every single biker. 73 men. And they applauded. The sound filled the room. Loud, powerful, respectful. Sienna looked around. Tears still streaming down her face. Completely overwhelmed. These men, these Hell's Angels that everyone warned her about, were honoring her. Cole walked over and placed a hand on her shoulder. Your family now, he said quietly, and we take care of family. Sienna wiped her eyes. She looked at Hawk. I don't know what to say. Say you'll take the job. Hawk said with a smile. Say you'll let us help you the way you helped me. Sienna nodded, unable to speak. Hawk stood up and extended his hand. She stood and shook it. Then, unexpectedly, he pulled her into a hug. Thank you, he whispered. You gave me my life back. Now let us give you yours. That afternoon, Sienna drove her new car home, a 2019 Honda Accord, clean, reliable. Hers. She could barely believe it. She kept touching the steering wheel, afraid she'd wake up and it would all be a dream. When she pulled up to her apartment, she saw them. 100 motorcycles lining her street. Every member of Hawk's chapter had come to pay their respects. Neighbors stood on their porches, staring. Mrs. Johnson stood frozen, her mouth hanging open. Hawk got off his bike and walked over to Sienna as she stepped out of the car. We take care of our own, he said. And as of last night, you're one of us. If you ever need anything at all, you call. We'll be there. Sienna hugged him and he hugged her back. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for seeing me, Hawk replied. When I was dying on that pavement, you saw a human being, not a stereotype. That saved my life in more ways than one. Maya ran out of the apartment, confused but excited. Mommy, what's happening? Who are all these people? Sienna knelt down and pulled her daughter close. These are friends, baby. Very good friends. Maya looked up at Hawk. Did you give Mommy the car? Hawk smiled and knelt down to her level. I did. Your mommy helped me when I really needed it. So now I'm helping her. That's nice, Maya said simply. Then she looked at Sienna. Can we get breakfast tomorrow? Sienna laughed through her tears. Yes, baby, we can get breakfast. Whatever you want. Maya hugged her tight. I love you. Mommy, I love you too, baby, so much. One by one, the bikers started their engines. The roar was deafening, but it wasn't threatening. It was respectful. A salute. They drove past slowly, each one nodding to Sienna as they passed. Cole was the last to leave. He stopped his bike next to her. "See you Monday, boss," he said with a grin. Sienna smiled. "See you Monday." He drove off. And suddenly the street was quiet again. Mrs. Johnson walked over slowly. "Sienna, I'm sorry. I was wrong about them." Sienna looked at her neighbor. "They're just people, Mrs. Johnson. Some good, some bad, just like everyone else." Mrs. Johnson nodded, humbled. "You're a better person than me, child." "No," Sienna said. "I just try to see people for who they are, not who I'm told they are." That night, after everyone had left, Sienna sat at her kitchen table. The check was in front of her. $20,000. The car keys sat next to it. The job offer letter was folded neatly beside them. She pulled out her journal and opened to a fresh page. She wrote, 1. Maya will never go hungry again. 2. Kindness is never wasted. 3. Sometimes, when you give everything, you get everything back. She closed the journal and looked at the business card with the crown and wings logo. She smiled. Her grandmother had been right. Kindness costs nothing, and sometimes it's all we have to give. But what her grandmother didn't tell her was that sometimes that kindness comes back to you in ways you could never imagine. Sienna walked to Maya's room and looked at her daughter sleeping peacefully. She kissed her forehead. "We're going to be okay, baby," she whispered. "We're going to be more than okay." She went to her own room and lay down. For the first time in years, she didn't worry about rent. She didn't worry about food. She didn't worry about the bills. She closed her eyes and smiled. Because sometimes the smallest acts of kindness create the biggest ripples. And sometimes when you save a life, you end up saving your own.